Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and distinction that I introduce to you the queen of all media, Wendy Williams.
Yeah. It's the Wendy Williams experience, everybody. So I just mentioned books, and I do want you guys to know that we're rounding out April and also April's book reads. Mistakes Men Make by Byron Harmon. Byron will be coming in tomorrow to talk about his book. And then, I encourage you guys, if you're looking for a good read, this is a great read, actually. I got a few pages into it, but I am almost finished with the other book, LaJoyce Brookshire. I mean, I read these books. I catch them when I can. I just want to encourage you guys that if you like to read, I just like to give you book suggestions and hopefully introduce you to the authors when permitted. The authors come in, they talk about their book. So Byron will be in tomorrow. His book is about an NFL star, a playboy who gets this big money job in New York as a sportscaster and gets sucked into everything, the partying, the fast women, the drugs, the whole bit. Then the other book, Faith Under Fire, Betrayed by a Thing Called Love, is by LaJoyce Brookshire. LaJoyce was a woman who fell in love with a man and got married to him. Little did she know that he married her, deceiving her, because he had full-blown AIDS. The drama unfolds. LaJoyce is fortunate to live to tell the story. It's all in her book, Faith Under Fire, Betrayed by a Thing Called Love. It's by LaJoyce Brookshire, and she will be in the show tomorrow as well. Now, I've already picked out next month's book read, which I'm real excited about that. And I've actually already picked out June's book read, which is going to be my book. Hell, no point in having a book club if I can't, put my own book in it, right? So I got Charlemagne reading my galley, which is about half of the book you have. A galley is not the full book. That's just to, suck you in and give reviewers enough, Charlemagne, to review the book. But my book is coming out June 20th. Shout out to my Random House family. It's called Drama Is Her Middle Name. It's a novel. It starts off my novel series about this girl in my head. Her name is Ritz Harper. She's a radio personality. As a matter of fact, I like how Jolie Magazine, the magazine for which I do the advice column, you guys put this down as a great summer read. Thank you, Jolie Magazine. Thank you. So this is what they say. Available June 20th, 2006. Shock jock extraordinaire Wendy Williams takes you on a ride of your life through flashbacks of the rise and fall of her alter ego, Ritz Harper. Harper is New York's hottest radio DJ. She puts the S in shock and the G in gossip, and drama is her middle name. Ritz exclusive story. This is one story that Ritz tells in the book. She doesn't tell it, she actually lives it. Anyway, this one particular shocking piece of gossip, they go on to write, torpedoes her to the top of the ratings, and she's rewarded with her very own show. As Ritz's star grows brighter, even friends become foes as Ritz welcomes her guest onto her show and, like a talking Venus flytrap, verbally seduces them and then watches their lives crumble. Ritz soon becomes the darling of the radio station's drive time slot. But what happens when Ritz goes from drive time diva to drive-by victim? As Ritz lies crumpled in a heap on the New York City sidewalk, not far from the studio, felled by bullets with her name on them, all she can think as she struggles to maintain consciousness is, "Who did this to me? Who did this?" An enticing novel riffed with dirt, scandal, and drama. Yes, drama is her middle name. Ritz Harper.
Hopefully it'll be a movie soon.
Yeah, Charlemagne's reading it right now. He says that it would make for a good movie. I don't know. That'll be our June book read. But in the meantime, let's bring in a man who's also in the book game, Uncle Luke. Yes, My Life and Freaky Times. Bring the man in, please. Friend to the Wendy Williams experience, Uncle Luke. Hi, Luke. How do you manage to maintain your figure?
Huh?
How do you manage?
I don't know.
You never really get that thing,
Yeah. Old people get.
Yeah, well,
That blow up thing.
Yeah, you're a little. This is Charlemagne the God, by the way.
Hey, what's up, man? How you feeling?
So, I mean, truthfully, you look good.
Thank you.
As old young people are supposed to look.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you. I don't eat everything.
Yeah.
I don't eat all these different women that everybody else eat.
jeez, here we go. Hey, did you ever get married to your scientist, your biophysicist?
No.
I knew that was a lie.
You knew that was.
Were you ever engaged for real?
Yeah, I was engaged.
So what happened, Luke?
I was in love with her. She broke my heart.
Okay, what was her job again? Something really heady.
She was a biochemist.
Yes, wow. See?
You remember everything.
Yes, I do. Well, I was fascinated by that, Luke, and you've been a longtime friend of the show.
Right.
And your life often fascinates me because you are a purveyor of sex, but you do not participate in sex with the girls that you have up there on stage.
No.
Now, you could be lying to me, but I've always believed that about you.
No, that's what it is. I'm real picky about what I deal with. You know that, Wendy.
I know.
I tried to go out with you.
Alas,
before you introduced me to your husband. I got married.
And so, and then your choice of women the choices of women that you deal with in your real life is always fascinating too, because you wouldn't deal with a woman who got up there and did that as your serious girlfriend or wife.
No.
And then you have a daughter who you would crack her skull. You didn't use those words, but I'm translating what you said. You'd crack her skull if you knew she wanted to go into sex.
Yeah. Well, when they get old, they do different things.
Yes.
These days.
How old is your daughter now?
I have 2 daughters. Three daughters.
How old are they?
One is 18.
Wow.
One is 15. Mm-hmm. Then I got another one that I don't know too much about.
What's your take as the sex? By the way, what is that all about?
I don't know too much about.
You just dropped a seed someplace and one night stand or something?
No, not necessarily.
Do you send checks?
Yeah, it was a I send checks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I do these days, is send checks.
Do you want to know about the daughter that's just out there?
Yeah, I think I met her one time. And she was kind of loony.
Okay, how do you think you met her?
I think somebody introduced me to her. Say, hey, this is your daughter.
Oh. What was that? Her mother introduced you like that?
Yeah. I got to say, it was another girl in Detroit. Say, hey, this is your son.
Wow.
I was like, hey, let's go take tests. So one day I just got everybody, loaded them all up in the van.
Yeah.
And just went down, took tests.
Yeah, tests.
Yeah.
And
DNA tests.
Yes.
Stick them in, stick everybody.
Now, what's the total tally of kids that Luke
total tally is actually 4.
4.
Yeah.
And 3. What about your boy? Is your
boy? Yeah, Luke.
Is he from a jump off or no? Obviously not. You named him your name, Luke. Or no, that's a smart jump off. Yeah, take the name.
Yeah. No, all those. That's the only thing that I've experienced in my life is really, having, starting a family. Getting in bed with a girl and say, let's make a baby. You know what I'm saying?
The other children are just like accidents that happen. You love them, but you didn't plan them.
No, I didn't plan them at all. Girls trying to get checks.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Now the biochemist, she has children with you?
No.
Wow.
No, I started doing good after doing all those different things.
Yeah.
And I've been doing good all the way up until now. My son is 13 years old, so.
Are you a millionaire?
I'm kind of sort of. I'm all right.
Yeah.
I can't say that on the radio because then people go to robbing you.
What did you just punch somebody in the face or give blood? Why do you have a Band-Aid on your hand?
I don't know how I did that. No, I didn't punch nobody in the face lately.
Okay.
I'll let you know first if I did.
Yeah, when's the last time you were in a fight?
The last time I was in a fight? That's a good question. I try to beat up my security guard back there.
That's your security?
No.
Oh.
No, the one, he's way in the pink room in your office.
Yeah. Do you like that in there?
Yeah. I like all the girls double, triple D's.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, what you do? Only way you can work for
big
me,
boobs.
You got to have big boobs.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Oh, yeah, all my girls have big breasts, too. That's just coincidence, right? Just coincidence.
No, you put that
big,
part in it.
And when I say big, I'm saying, like, Taryn, you look like a double D or an E cup. What are you, E? She's an E cup, my producer.
I wouldn't mind getting between those. Oh.
Yeah. And they're natural.
They are natural?
Yes.
See, I could lay my head up in there and do the whole lot. I can do a lot of things with her.
So let's talk.
Can I go in the pink room?
and get with Taryn's pink meat?
Yeah. That's right.
Hey, listen, let's talk about your book. It's Uncle Luke, My Life and My Freaky Times. Are we naming names in here?
Yeah, we're naming a lot of names in there.
I would love to. And this is audio, so I can actually, when I'm going to listen to this, I have to.
Yeah, see, that's what I did because, our audience, they ain't not too many people, your audience, because all the rich people listening to your show, they got time to read books. But, mostly hip-hop kids, they ain't got no time to read books.
Well, it is true. I do well with that 25 to 54 age group.
Yes, you do.
But the kids listen also, and you'd be surprised. People do enjoy reading. How long is this book on tape part?
It's a double audio book, so it's pretty much 70 minutes, 140 minutes.
Okay.
And there's an album in there.
That's my summer read for when I'm driving in the car going to pick up my son from Martha's Vineyard this summer.
I'm going to give you the hard copy, too.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like that a lot.
You're going to find it very funny.
We're going to take phone calls from some of your fans.
Let's do it.
And I want to talk to you about some of the things that are in this book. And I want to talk to you about the music and what's all going on with Luke. So
no problem.
It's Luke in the studio, and so keep it where you got it, okay? All right, thanks.
Wendy, man.
My problem is I have a boyfriend, and the thing is that I don't want to get married to him because he has a drinking problem.
Oh.
The Wendy Williams Experience.
Backed by popular demand. And this time, it's bigger and better than ever.
Pick your pleasure.
It's the luxury of your choice. Having the ability to choose what you desire most.
Pick your pleasure.
Louis Vuitton, Gucci, diamonds and furs, exotic trips, cash. A night out on the town with one of your favorite stars. Listen for the winning time starting at 7:15 a.m., 12:15 in the afternoon, and 6:15 evenings.
Pick your pleasure.
With 107.5 WBLS.
Yeah. Today's R&B and classic soul. Shout out to Armenian Jordan, who needs a good lawyer to look over songwriting contract. Well, I rate right up there with the best of the lawyers in this business, Jill Ramsey, who I know personally. So try Jill Ramsey. She's wonderful. She's fantastic. And she is a pit bull in a skirt. Also, shout out to Maria. Maria, unfortunately, I don't know of anything that fixes stretch marks. And doctors, people say that they have cream to fade stretch marks, to make them go away. There are potions and things like that. Quite frankly, I think those are people just taking your money. I mean, I don't even believe that creams and lotions help out with pregnancy and stretch marks, only because, when I was pregnant with little Kev, first of all, I never had any stretch marks before having the baby. And when I was pregnant with the baby, I was very diligent for like the first 3 months in slathering, moisture, getting my skin ready, slathering the special stretch mark stuff all over my belly and my legs and my breasts and all, because that ruins cleavage. You get nice cleavage and you see this big fire, coming up. And then you got on your nice low-rise jeans and you see the fire all coming out of your belly and it just off your ass and, behind. Yeah, it's terrible. So I was slathering cream, but because I was on bed rest with him and I had a plethora of things to worry about, including perhaps him not making it here, I used to forget to slather stretch. I was like, that's the least of my problems. If I can just have this baby, I'll take the stretch marks and all the war wounds and everything. Damn it, I just want to have this baby. And I stopped with the moisturizing. I stopped. And to this day, I have not one stretch mark, thank God. I mean, with all the other, knock on wood, but it's not going to happen now. If it hasn't happened yet, it's not going to happen. I have no stretch marks, which, is like I have dimples. In my family, the girls dimple, So, I have a couple of, dimples on my butt. I get a little dimples on my thighs, just cellulite. But no stretch marks. So I just say to you, Marie, look at the women in your family. If the women in your family have, the women closest to you, your mother, your sisters and stuff like that, your aunts. If the women in your family have stretch marks, then you're probably going to get stretch marks regardless, is what I say. But then again, what do I know? I'm only talking from experience. And looking at the women in my family, my mom doesn't have stretch marks. My sister doesn't have stretch marks. But we all have cellulite. So that's our deal. That's our problem. And, that's that. Yeah, I know what you mean, though. She's worried about getting stretch marks on her boobs. That's like, and then you can always use Dermablend, I guess, to cover the stretch marks, the cover cream and everything. But nothing worse than having your boobs all hiked up and, looking nice, and then you can see the fire. Or you're wearing your low-rise jeans and you're looking cute and sassy, and then your shirt lifts up by accident. Oh! And there's the fire. You know what I mean? There's the fire. Everything's looking good in the silhouette and everything, and your shirt lifts up by accident. Ooh, fire!
Wow.
You know what I mean, Charlamagne?
I don't have stretch marks.
Have you ever seen stretch marks?
Yes, I have.
I know you have. This hour of the Wendy Williams Experience is being brought to you by Lowe's. And don't forget, everybody, this is the radio station with the Pick Your Pleasure contest. Yes? Coming up in the bonus hour today, we've got your chance to pick your pleasure. Prada, Louis, you know, the good stuff that you love getting as gifts. WBLS is proud sponsor of TV 411. You can improve your reading and math skills by watching TV 411. And that's Fridays at 12:30 p.m. on Channel 13. Too Short's coming out with a new CD. Did we establish Nobody Cares?
Too Short's always going to have a little fan base. He's got like a cult-like following.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's getting too old to be so perverted, though. Sort of like Luke. You got to ask him about that.
Well, his latest single is called Blow the Whistle. It's already apparently on radio. He can also be heard on Khalees's new Bossy song. Too Short. Okay. Let's move on. Let's see. Is there anybody waiting on the telephone?
Yeah.
I know people wanted to talk to Luke. We can do that in a few moments when he comes back in. Hello, hi, it's Wendy.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? It's Wendy.
Fine. How are you?
Good.
Wendy?
Yes, welcome to the show, yes.
Yes. I met a doctor. His name is Dr. Fox. He has an office in Fresh Meadows.
Mm-hmm.
He works on stretch marks. He has a laser technique that he uses.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually tried it, and it kind of works. So his name is Dr. Fox.
Okay.
He has an office in Fresh Meadows. That's the one that I've been to. He has offices in Manhattan and out in Suffolk County on Long Island.
Yes.
I've never been to them. You know, if you want to have someone look it up,
Yeah.
maybe through a phone book or whatever.
Now-
He is in the Yellow Pages,
Now,
though.
it is common, though, for plastic surgeons and dermatologists to do stretch mark work. I know my dermatologist, Dr. Janine Downey over in Montclair, she does work on stretch marks. But your stretch marks are not gone, are they? They're just lightened, right?
Well, it depends, because he said that certain laser surgeries work on darker skin better than it does on lighter skin. So it depends on the pigmentation of your skin, actually.
So you still have stretch marks. They're just lighter, though, right?
I don't see them anymore.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
I don't see them anymore. But my stretch marks were light to begin with.
Say,
So
okay.
it depends. It depends on the severity of the stretch mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but Dr. Fox is not too bad. I just figured that I would call and I wanted to tell you I love you and how you doing.
Thank you. And how you doing? Hey, by the way, how much was that laser stretch mark removal?
It was about $250 for a test prep, and if you like the results from the test prep, it was $500 for the surgery.
Oh, wait, this is surgery.
It's not surgery. I mean, for the procedure.
Okay.
Because it's just a laser that he uses.
Yes.
And it like burns the skin.
Yes.
Where the stretch mark is.
Yes.
And then, you scab up a little bit, but then you heal.
Yes. Gotcha. All right. Well, thanks for calling. Thanks for the tip. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. Bye.
Hello. Hi, it's Wendy. How are you?
Hey, Wendy. How are you today?
I'm doing fine.
I'm calling today because I listen every day on my drive home, and yesterday my son and I decided that we were going to go to this Mango.
Okay.
And the service was fine. Everyone was really nice and really amenable. However, the food was garbage.
That's Queen Latifah's mom's place in Teaneck.
In Hackensack.
In Hackensack, right? Yeah. Yeah?
It was garbage. The whiting was, the frozen packages. The collard greens were the chopped frozen collards. The main ingredient basically was accent salt. It was really bad. I mean, the service was slow. It was so slow that they actually sent free hors d'oeuvres, which were the jerk wings. The jerk wings were cold on the inside with a really wet sauce on the top. I would not recommend anyone go there if they're real.
You can't believe you're talking, and I think that this is your facts right here. Do you work at Hudson United Bank?
You blew me up.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Damn. I can't believe that as you're talking, I run into your facts. Wow.
Wendy, I can't. I mean, everyone there was nice.
It
There was
says
no screaming. There was no yelling.
it says there was no cornbread on the table. Nice atmosphere. Long waiting period for food. Very amenable service. And the How You Doing crew was out and in their glory.
Yeah, they went in their glory. They popped a few bottles. I mean, everything else except for the food was magnificent.
Oh, sometimes that's good. I mean, it's just a place where you can go. Get a rotten burger, but at least everybody's nice.
Right.
Hey, all right. Well, that's one woman's opinion. I've never been to Mango's, and people have said that the food there is great. I don't know. Candy Staten is coming up during the bonus hour today. A little treat for my bonus hour people. Actually, her schedule would not permit, nor mine, because we already had Luke booked and we already had Hill Harper booked. And this is one day where she's flying to town and she wants to drop it about her past affairs, including with Al Jarreau and Lou Rawls, plus Candy Staten. Yes, the singer. I'm a victim. Yeah. I wonder if Taryn ever found that song. I asked her about it yesterday. That's the only problem with having, a young producer like that, is that she doesn't even know what the hell I'm talking about or why that song is important. You know what I mean? She doesn't know. She has no idea who that is. Young Charlamagne, do you know who Candy Staten is?
I thought she was a porn star.
My God.
Tell what you just said just now. I just heard the name and I just assumed porn star.
So the bonus hour is one big cricket to you because she's going to be talking about her affairs with Lou Rawls and Al Jarreau.
A bunch of guys that need Viagra now.
And Candy Staten, who you don't know. You're going to be basically sitting there with the Stone Cold Killer face on.
Learning something, hopefully.
What not to do. All right, so keep it where you got it. All right, Charlamagne's here. I'm Wendy, and we'll be here until 7 o'clock. It's still the Hour of Truth, and we're bringing Uncle Luke back in for his last and final stage call here on the show for today. All right,
The
we're here
Home
till
Depot
7.
presents.
How you doing?
But you gotta sing it though. She wants you to sing it like just how you sing your song. She's like, what?
First time ever heard your show, I thought to myself, how you doing?
Just like that. Oh my God.
Okay. Hi, Wendy. It's Roberta Flack. And the first time ever I heard your show, I thought to myself, how you doing?
Yes, everybody, you're checking out the Wendy Williams Experience. Hey, Tampa, Jacksonville, are you digging the scene? All right. I mean, because we've been together now for about 2 weeks. All right. And by the way, everybody, you're always free to email me at Wendy at thewendywilliamsexperience.com. If you want to email Charlamagne, you can email there too. Charlamagne, your email is just to, what is it? C at seethegod.com?
Yes, seethegod.com. CTHAGOD.com. You can always get at me on MySpace.
Excuse me. Shh. Why have you put your sunglasses back on? Are we not?
Because I was in the pink room, and it's I ain't never been that far in the pink.
Yes. Hung like a pimple, are
Don't
you?
get nervous.
Do you use condoms when you're in the pink, Uncle Luke? I hear a lot of sex talk, but I never hear about
use
condom
condoms? Yeah, practice safe sex.
You got a lot of accidental kids running around,
Yeah, that is true.
13 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Condoms weren't as popular.
Yeah, they weren't popular. That's when you just all them kind of things.
Yeah. Hey, were you doing TV today? You have on foundation?
I don't know. I taped so many shows. I don't know what happened.
Or is that just your face? I mean, it's your skin is either beautiful or your makeup is tasteful.
Look, you ready for burial, man?
Makeup? I don't do no makeup.
What the hell is burial?
Burial.
Oh, burial.
Yeah, like,
I don't do no makeup.
You look good. Your skin is beautiful.
No, I don't do no makeup.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. A nice finish.
I don't do no makeup.
So now...
put the makeup on me.
I don't know. I thought maybe you were doing,
No, I'm not no R&B singer. I'm a hip-hop P-ologist, 3 steps higher than a gynecologist. I just keep my face in the right places.
All right.
When it smells good.
Yes, I understand.
Of course.
Yes. Shout out to the affiliates. I just want you to know that I will need another few minutes beyond the normal break time of this particular break. So we'll be extending as I want to get into Uncle Luke's sex life with Gloria Velez, that threesome with you and she and Keith Sweat.
Whoa. You want to get it with the threesome?
Yes, I want to talk about that.
Oh, you do?
So how did it all go down? Because Gloria's been around. She's easy. Uncle Luke, I know you were easy. Keith Sweat? I know Keith is a little, he can be a little man whore himself. But I don't picture the three of you in bed together on the same
Gloria.
woman.
The girl, she just twisted it all up.
How did it happen?
See, that's why I like you. You put me, Keith, and Gloria in the bed together.
Did you have a threesome?
No.
That's a myth.
No, me and her. No, did I have a threesome? I had quite a few threesomes.
Okay, no. Talk about Gloria.
Oh, Gloria. No, Gloria was in the room with me, Keith Sweat, and some other people, and another girl was up in there, one of my dancers, and she said, she could turn her out. So she laid her on the glass table.
This is Gloria laid her on the glass table?
No. The
dancer wanted to turn Gloria out.
My girl laid Gloria on the glass table.
Okay.
And me and Keith was sitting there looking. And then she said, she bet me that she could turn her out. So before you know it, she started doing what she do best. And before Gloria fell in love with the girl, and they went off. And next thing I saw was...
Wow.
I saw her back on the road probably maybe a year later. She was back out there on the road with us.
Okay, so now Gloria and Cisco having sex. You walked in, he had a member in his hand with batteries.
Yeah. She used to travel with a lot of dildos. Because she
a member with a battery.
A member with a battery.
Yeah.
A battery operated machine.
Mm-hmm.
Put it that way.
Go ahead.
You getting excited?
No, go. Tell me the story. I'm getting nervous.
You cringing.
I tell you what, I'm getting nervous because the affiliates are on my back about wanting the breaks so that they can play 12 songs in a row before our next thing. I mean, it's a whole thing about music and being syndicated, and I can't just talk. Everything is rushed.
They can't play no music.
They do.
Not on the Wendy Williams show.
No, exactly. But they do. And it makes me mad. And shout out to the affiliates. I love you like cooked food, but the quite frankly, the music gets in the way of the conversation.
It gets in the way.
And we really do need to talk about dropping like 3 songs an hour and open up these damn breaks. I'm always feeling like I got to rush and can't express myself with my damn guests.
That's right.
Here in New York, my crime boss is here. I got to tell you where they're to the point now. If I wasn't syndicated, we'd have no music on in New York at this particular time. I'd be able to talk all through. No music. I'm serious. My crime boss is here. They love to talk. They sit there. They hang on to every word, too. And sometimes come in and participate.
Man.
But the crime boss is every place else. Everybody's got to playing the hits. The same songs everybody else plays ad nauseum over and over and over. 12 songs an hour, playing the hits. Oh, by the way, you'll hear more of Wendy in a few moments. And I got to rush.
No.
And now because I've fetched for 2 minutes, I've used up 2 more minutes of our interview time.
That was a whole nother song.
No, that's another 2 minutes I got to take from this break, affiliates.
Wow.
We're going to get this interview done.
Let them know, Wendy.
I'm just telling you, I can't keep you for another break because I got somebody else coming in next hour.
That's what I'm saying.
So now, if you want to cut me off in the middle of my words to play the commercials, which are very important, and then another song that the other radio station's playing, then fine. I'm not stopping until I'm finished.
What you got more important stuff to talk about than just a record.
Exactly.
They don't get that?
No, they don't. They got to get to the next Neo song.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
The same one.
They got to get to the next, a good album. We play it here too. But they got to get to the next Neo song, followed by, the next Beyonce.
That's ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's more important than this.
You need to threaten
Because that's why you syndicate the show.
You need to threaten them.
So they syndicate the show, and I love them, for the Wendy, but then I got to cut it. Let me stop. All right, let's get into Aaron. All right, let's get back to Gloria Velez and Cisco. So you walk in.
I walked in.
Yeah.
See, this is what I did. I banged on the door like, they say, hey, Cisco in the back room with Gloria, right? In the hotel. So I went, and, I went like the angry boyfriend or something. I hit on the door. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, yeah.
Who you in there? Who you in there with?
Yes.
and she was like leaning on the bed.
Yeah.
And then he had this thing in there. The
he probably just pulled it out of him.
Thing. I don't know about all that.
Go.
So I was like, what's up? What's going on up in there? He was like, he was shaking. And I was like, oh, okay, good. I'm happy to see you in there with the girls.
With a woman.
Yeah.
For once.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Mike Tyson's. You're going to find out about all this stuff, by the way, in Uncle Luke's new book. It's coming out. This is an advanced copy. It's actually the book on tape. Uncle Luke, My Life and Freaky Times. But you'll also be able to purchase it and luxuriate in pages as well, right?
Yeah.
When will the pages be out?
The pages will be out in September.
And when will the DVD be out?
The DVD, audio book, and album will be out in May 16th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is hot. Okay, let's talk about Mike Tyson. First of all, I heard he's hung like a horse.
Huh?
I heard he's hung like a horse. Like, what is that, 11, 12 inches or something?
I haven't seen Mike naked.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Mike, no, that's my dog there. Me and Mike hang out all the time. Now, Mike, a little story about him that's in the audio book. Mike was, when allegedly did the rape thing and all that. Yes. We was hanging out that weekend. I was supposed to hang out with him, but I didn't go.
Well, thank
some
God.
girl came, I had a girl in the room, and she was like, got naked and was like, you gonna leave all this to go hang out with Mike? So, the pink room saved me, because, Don King would have flipped that on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you something. You still, can a girl still say something like that to you when you care? Isn't booty just booty at this point?
But that was back then.
Oh, okay.
Are you using Viagra at this point in your life?
No, I don't use Viagra.
You're turning into Granddaddy Luke a little bit.
I don't use no Viagra. I don't need Viagra. I got that yachty in me.
Yeah.
You ever heard a Jamaican use Viagra? Nah, negative.
Have you ever had an HIV test? Speaking of negative,
yeah.
Did you pass it or fail it?
I passed it.
You want to fail it, Uncle Luke?
No, I don't want to fail it.
You don't want to pass the HIV.
Yeah.
You really want to fail it?
I passed the HIV test.
That's
yes.
a good one. That's a good one, Solomon. Okay, let's talk about Muhammad Ali. And before you start talking, let me just
Inside
say, damn you.
Huh?
Damn you.
Ali? No, Ali asked me where the girls were.
Oh, when was this?
Yeah, well, that was, we was doing this little function. He whispered to me, hey, where them girls at? Where the girls? I was like, wow. And then, after that, I saw some of his documentaries and know that Ali was the DON. He had a card. For sure.
So you sent him to some young girls?
No, I ain't hook him up.
Yeah, why?
I was about to do that. No, I wasn't hooking Ali up.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't a man? A man needs to be a man. Don't you?
But
people
I ain't
think
gonna
that?
hook Ali shaking and all that. I ain't hooking this man up.
Oh, it was during the shake years. It's now like now years.
Wow. You can't put me up. Hook the man up. Man, hold on.
Oh, but you know what? A little something, tight. And although he does have a missus, he's married. You did the right thing.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be a part of that.
Yeah. So let's talk about Aaron Hall, because
that's your buddy.
You interviewed Aaron Hall and you watched him perform anal sex on a girl.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's just before he kidnapped Gloria.
Yes.
When I was doing this show called The Peep Show.
Yes.
And then, Aaron, he always nerved out about R. Kelly. If you mention R. Kelly around him, he'd lose his mind.
Yes.
And that was like at the beginning.
R. Kelly did steal his everything.
That's what what he said.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You do?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, he felt that way at the time. And that was like early on. And I said, R. Kelly, Aaron, how you feel about him? And then I said, and you went on to say how he stole everything. Then I said, well, R. Kelly is more freakier than you. That was before all the other stuff happened.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, no, he's not. And so I was like, okay, well, prove it. And then I had some girls on the set. Before you know it, he started licking them and swirled around, stuck his tongue there.
And then stuck his thing there.
No,
Did he actually have the
he just stuck his tongue up.
Let me ask you something. Do you get remotely excited by that at all?
No. I'm just a ringleader now.
You stay flaccid while you watch something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It don't do nothing for me. I like the expression on people's face.
Yes.
When they see it, they'd be like, whoa. It's almost like,
Yes.
I do that for that.
Yes.
That's what I do.
Is there any truth to the rumor that you want to start a sex magazine?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm moving off into.
Yeah.
The adult world.
Yeah, the adult
I figure
world.
That's the perfect place for me. I mean, you got Hugh Hefner, Larry Flint, and then you have me.
Hood Hefner.
Yeah. And it needs to be organized from the urban standpoint.
You're very right.
Everybody is in the Motel 6 and all that.
Yes.
I figure if I could bring a little class to it.
Yes. Well, I wish
if I can get you naked in a magazine, Wendy, posing nude. Not classy, tasteful stuff.
If
You
I
don't
did
like
it,
how Vanessa Williams did it.
If I did it, I wouldn't
Boy,
want it to
that'd
be
be-
tasteful.
You wouldn't want it to
No,
be
I'm very,
you wanted to spread eagle?
I'm very comfortable with myself. Too comfortable to pose for a magazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you'll have your hands right there pulling it back up.
I'm too comfortable with myself to even pose for a magazine.
Wow.
And besides, now I'm at a different station in life, and I couldn't do that to my son, my parents, my dignity.
That's why you'd have to do it classy.
If I did it, I'd have to go hard or go home.
Wow.
That's it. That's
You're
it.
a beast,
and I'm
man.
very comfortable with myself. So, there, once the camera, all you have to do is say, wow, you look great. And that would be encouragement enough for me to, I couldn't do it. I want to thank you for coming in. It's Uncle Luke, My Life and Freaky Times. This is the book that will be out in
May 16th.
Well, no, this is
the
actually
audio book. The book will be out in September.
Okay. And now we're going to go into commercial. We're going to play some hits, and we'll be back with Hill Harper next. Thank you, Luke.
Wendy, man.
This show is crazy. Just make sure it stays broadcast right here because it's crazy. Everybody I know loves it, even my mother.
The Wendy Williams Experience.
How you doing?
But you gotta sing it though. She wants you to sing it like just how you sing your song. Like what?
First time ever I heard your show, I thought to myself, how you doing?
Just like that. Oh my God.
Okay. Hi, Wendy. It's Roberta Flack. And the first time ever I heard your show, I thought to myself, how you doing?